two, one, zero.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro.
Hello, welcome to Conversations to Raise Vibrations. My name is Lisa Kelly, and I am joined every week with the lovely Elvira Hopper.
Hello.
If you're joining us here live, please let us know that you're here live. Just, comment in the chats and let us know what you're getting from this conversation. And if you're watching later, amazing. Thank you for taking your time, and just hit hashtag replay. And going onto YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, let us know where you're watching from. It's so exciting.
It is.
All right. So today, Elvira and I love these conversations. My favorite conversations, because we sit in the studio backstage for about 10 minutes and we just discuss what we're going to talk about. So it really is authentic. It's real, and it's coming from the heart, and it's coming from things that both of us are seeing within the group, the need that people need right now. And today we're going to discuss what to do when you feel your triggers, when you feel your pain coming up. What I'm seeing a lot in the group is there's a lot of women that, maybe have just left a relationship or left a career, or your spouse has died, or I've seen a few, my God, your child has died. My heart is breaking for some of you. Like literally I cried with a couple of them. So I want you to know that, we're trying to honor you and what the need is within the group, and that's where these conversations stem from. So we just talked a little bit about moving forward and how we deal with our triggers and our pain. And I just actually was saying to Elvira, I worked with a client just before I got on here, and she's transitioning. She's moving into a transformation, as I think we all are. At some point in our life, we go through major transformations, and the universe is, things are happening for us. We always say, not to us. And it's important to remember that when you're going through these triggers, is to honor it, be present with it, and feel it. So we're going to talk about what to do, and maybe some tips that can help you through some of these triggers. So, Elvira, did you chat for a minute?
Amazing. Yeah. This is such an important conversation, especially since it's Thanksgiving week in the United States. So happy Thanksgiving, happy Turkey Day to all our American viewers and members in this group. And I really feel like, this whole thing with triggers, I hear the word triggers a lot, emotional triggers. And, there's this thing that, is done in some, sects, SECTS, where, it's called spiritual bypassing, right? Where you feel something and then you just choose something to, escape from it and numb out from it, right? So it's like, even like, in some yoga cultures, it's like, ohm it out, so it's not about feeling your emotion. It's about, surpassing it, going over it. And we call that spiritually bypassing.
Right.
And my team and I, with the Love Your Vibe transformation, the personal development solution for heart-centered people, we don't believe in spiritual bypass. We believe in feeling our emotions and sitting with them and making sense of them, like understanding where they're coming from. What is this emotion trying to tell me? What am I meant to clear because of this emotion? Like, we need to see our emotions as our friends that are leading us to being our better selves, our happier selves, our healthier selves, our higher selves. So something I actually heard recently, which I thought was kind of neat, is we need to sit with our triggers, whatever emotion is coming up, sit with them for 90 seconds. And then it's amazing how they dissipate. And the idea is to just get present to that that emotion and understand what is it trying to tell me, so that's one way of just sitting with it and letting it pass. And the other thing that I like recommending is, journal when you're feeling, really upset, and you want to figure out like what's going on. Like, just start writing, and you might have no clue what you start writing about. Just grab a journal, go to the dollar store, they're a dime a dozen. I'm exaggerating, they're a little more than that. But start writing about what you're feeling, and say I'm feeling really angry right now, and I'm not sure why I'm angry. I've just got this thing in the pit of my stomach, and and then you can swear, like, I fucking hate this,
Yeah.
this person that's doing this. Like, just let it out and
Yeah.
let the emotion out and make sense of it and understand, okay, is this something that's teaching me that maybe I don't need to be this angry? Maybe this is connected to something that I experienced as a child,
Yeah.
and I got angry as a child as a response to survival. Like,
Yeah.
it's an ego response to survival, like anger, like for me, anger, very typical response. And I believe that when I was a child, when I got angry, I got my way. Like, my parents were probably afraid of me. So when I showed anger, it was like, okay, they stopped bothering me, so maybe that was my coping mechanism. And so anger is something that, is a trigger, so when I get triggered, sometimes I go to anger, and
Right.
so what I'm trying to say is really our triggers, our emotions, are leading us to understanding ourselves better so we can move forward more powerfully in our lives. So that's
I
kind of just an overview. Does that
I
make
oh,
sense?
I like that when you say your triggers and your emotions are leading us. Say that again, are leading us to who we are.
Yeah, leading us to who we truly are,
I
because
like
who we are is our authentic self. And
Yeah.
when we have all these things piled on us, over the years, we need to release all that crap so we can show up and shine as our authentic self.
I know.
And it's hard to be our authentic self in today's day and age, right? Because we're expected to be all these things, and people put expectations on us, our kids, our spouses, parents, and to let go of all that crap and
Yes.
just be who we truly are. Like,
Yes.
the emotions are guides, they're
Yes.
guiding us closer to what we're supposed to do. So let's say someone in this group, has just left a horrible marriage, for example, right? And they're just feeling so angry or so sad or so betrayed or whatever, right? Well, it's an opportunity to feel those feelings.
Mhm.
They're not comfortable, but
Mhm.
don't spiritually bypass them. Don't pretend they're not there, or don't numb out on eating or drinking, or like going out with every man and sleeping with them, to get over. Like, I invite people to just sit with their feelings, to sit with their emotions. 90 seconds. I am so fucking angry. I can't believe this person did, like, you know what I mean? Just sit with it, cry, do what you need to do. Oh my God, I'm getting chills. Grab a journal, start writing, make some sense of how you're feeling. And then, I invite people to just go back to their little child, their little inner child that wants to feel safe
Mhm.
and needs to feel safe every day inside you, because that little
Mhm.
child is a part of you,
Mhm.
needs to be integrated with you. And you need to, give that child love, and say, okay, when you were young, you felt really betrayed by, let's say your brother or your cousin or whatever. And you're very, very triggered right now because it's taking you back to something.
Mhm.
So go back to that time, and give your little child some love, and let her feel, seen and safe and celebrated and supported. These are 4 words that are really important in our movement. And and then just watch what happens. Like, don't run away from the feelings. Feel the feelings, journal the feelings, go back to when you were young. Like, there's so many different ways. And I have different modalities that I use. Lisa, I know you have your modalities, but these are just some things that we can do on our own, just to make more sense of those emotions that are coming up that hijack us. And because if it's there for you to feel it and heal it, and
Well,
then we can move
otherwise,
on.
yeah, because otherwise, sorry, if you're not feeling it, then you're just pushing it down. And then it's
Hmm.
like this ball underwater that's just going to come up at some point in your life.
Hmm.
It's going to keep
Hmm.
reoccurring. And those are the patterns that people say, why the hell is this keep happening in my
Yeah.
life? Why do I meet the same person? Why do I have the same, whatever it is
Yeah.
continues to happen? It's because you've never dealt with it before.
Yeah.
And when it comes up in Huna energy, when something is coming up for you, it means it's ready to be healed.
Right.
right?
Right. Exactly.
That's a key thing. If you're feeling it, it means it's time to heal it. And that
Yeah.
child, and in Huna energy, that inner child is the unconscious mind.
Right.
That inner child is trying to say, here, look, please help me,
Mm.
navigate these murky waters. Please help me dissolve this pain. And I always say to clients, would you ignore a child that came to you? Would you push them away?
Oh,
You would
yeah.
never do that. So why do we do it with our own inner child, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And something I want to say too about the journaling aspect is that actually came up in a post on the group, about journaling and how do you go about doing it. And I
Mhm.
said in the comment, there's no right or wrong way to journal. And I do journal in the mornings. I take a journal and I just write. And I literally set a timer because I heard this from somewhere before. When you set a timer and you don't take your pen off the page and you just write whatever, like you said, whatever's coming
Mhm.
for you, it doesn't have to make sense. It
Yeah.
is only for you to get this out of
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And the other thing about the 90-second, you said you have 90 seconds to just sit and feel it. There's something called the amygdala hijack, right?
Mm.
That happens. And if we can sit within the first 7 seconds,
Mm.
just feel what we're feeling, then that amygdala, the back of your
Yeah.
brain doesn't take over your whole body where we have the heart racing, the palpitations, the sweating,
Mhm.
the heavy breathing, the anxiety. And then of course it changes all of our adrenal functions, thyroid, all of our hormone, our cortisol levels are going out of whack. But if you can just feel that in the moment when you're,
Mhm.
whatever it is,
Yeah.
anxiety, just feel it. Just
Yeah.
be present with it. And
Yeah.
that's, what you were saying is a lot of us want to bypass what we're feeling and we binge watch Netflix. We,
Mhm.
scroll social media. We, whatever, have a glass of wine. We go shopping. Whatever your go-to is, that's just here's the thing too, don't judge yourself for doing that.
Mm-mm.
My go-to is scrolling through social media. I
Mhm.
have my
Yeah.
go-to.
I'm guilty. Yeah.
I do. And if I'm feeling some sort of anxiety over something that I'm working through, and I catch myself a lot quicker than I did before.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't spend, I'm like, oh shit, I'm doing it again. I picked
Yeah.
up the phone. It's the go-to. So put it down and just breathe. And what I do is I put my one hand on my heart, one hand on my stomach, and I lie down and I do a deep breath. If you can't lie down, if you're at work and you're in an office, go to a bathroom.
Mm.
It takes, like you said, 5 minutes, and
Mhm.
just do some deep breathing and breathe, because that breath is the bridge back into the higher self.
Yeah.
And now you're coming back into the moment. Whereas everything is okay in this moment,
Yeah.
right? It's when we're feeling the pain, we go to anxiety, we go to depression, which is the past, and we're
Mm.
not living in that present moment. But if you're living in
Mhm.
the present moment, honoring those triggers that come up,
Yeah.
then you can get through any moment. And I'm not saying it's easy, because it's not. We've all
Yeah.
been. It's
No.
easy. But like Elvira, you were saying, it flows through you.
Yeah.
And I heard Abraham Hicks talking on one of their shows, and they said, humans are going to feel stuff. You're human. That's why you're on.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's when you start to block the flow of energy. So you just sitting there and feeling it and honoring it and allowing it to come up and out.
Mhm.
And it leaves you quicker.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're holding it, you're creating energy blocks, and then you've got dis-ease in the body.
Yeah.
Right now,
Yeah.
it's showing up as physical disease.
Yeah.
So it's really, really important that we honor those triggers, honor the pain that's coming up. And, like that's just a way I do it is through meditation. I have to use my meditation as my
Yeah.
tool.
Yeah.
And I know there's lots of tools, but another thing I do with modalities, and I just did this with one of my coaches yesterday, and we did some core transformation work. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful thing to do, because you've got this part of you that feels this and another part of you that's feeling this. So we want to merge. The core is bringing those two parts together, which is your inner child that's kind of stuck, whatever, 3 years old, 5 years old, still running that pattern. Meanwhile, you've got this other part of you. I'm going to use me as an example. Okay. This part of me that believes I'm limitless, I'm abundant, I can create anything I want. Yet I'm still running this pattern of there's not enough.
Mm.
I discovered that via journaling, by the way. I discovered this pattern. I was like, hold on a second. That's a pattern that I keep repeating. And so I sat with that for a while, and then I worked with my coach yesterday. And the part of me that believes I'm totally abundant, I'm totally limitless, there's enough for everybody. There was a part of me at 3 years old who still believed, who heard from somewhere that there's not enough.
Mm.
Brought that part of me forward on my timeline and reevaluated all the experiences in light of how I feel now. It is the most beautiful experience. I was crying. It was just such a beautiful experience to have that. But that is something you have to do with somebody.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, we're talking about
And
tools.
I love that you do that for other people. So yeah, I just invite people to check you out, Lisa, to do that, because it's a powerful. I did it with someone else actually, that timeline thing, and
Yeah,
it was great. I felt so light afterwards. It was
well,
just
you
like,
do because you're reemerging, so you're reevaluating.
yeah.
And people say, "Well, I don't know how old I was." It doesn't matter. Your unconscious mind does, and it's the smart
Hmm.
mind in the room. So your unconscious mind does, and then we're just reevaluating along that timeline all those events in light of your new choices now.
Mm.
And it's quite profound and
Powerful.
it's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
so cool.
I just feel like this is such a powerful topic that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know
It's so big.
it really is. And I know you have other tools that you use as well, and sound
Yeah.
healing being one of them. You're just
Yeah, sound. Yeah, I actually brought one of my little sound healing instruments here, because sound is just it's quite amazing scientifically. It's been shown to get right into our DNA and help us release crap that doesn't serve us. And when I do sacred sound baths, I always say have a nice big glass of water next to you, and when you're done, most people fall asleep during my sound baths, which is really cool, or they sleep like their best sleep that night after a sound bath. But I recommend like having a nice glass of water afterwards, because it releases like crap out of your cells, and it's scientifically proven. It's really amazing. So I love that. That's just one of my modalities. But yeah, so I mean, something that came up also, Lisa, I don't know if we can talk about this, but somebody had made a post about, they're tired of, life coaches jumping in and sharing, their services when someone is not feeling they're 100% or something like that,
right,
right?
right.
And it was a little triggering, because obviously, we're coaches, right? And I heard that and I read it and I was like, huh, okay, that's interesting. So like the old me years ago would have taken a lot more offense, but me now, like, thank God I've done a lot of work. It's
And
like,
you
oh,
sleep with your trigger.
I sat with my trigger, yeah, and I realized, yeah, this is not about me, and I am not going to hide the fact that I have things that can help people,
Right.
and if I feel called to, I will share
Yeah,
intuitively, and invite people, to look at what's going on, and to look at it differently. And if people are ready, then maybe they want to go deeper. But if they're not, that's fine too. But I didn't like the idea of that person shaming all the coaches in the group, because
yes.
they have things that can help, right? Like this is our calling, right? Like we're not doing it just, to make money. Like, obviously money comes when you're connected to your purpose and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, but we're here to serve, right? So if we have an intuitive download to share, a question to share, why should we hide it? And
Right.
this person, God bless, I'm sure they're doing the best from their state of consciousness. But yeah, I found that it was a little offensive, but again, it wasn't as offensive as it could have been.
Right.
But I am very confident in what I bring to the world, and this is why we're doing this show together. Is we see life very similarly. We know that stuff has happened, but we are not we are not our patterns. We're not our past. We are our future. And this is what coaches do. They work with people to bring them forward, and
Right.
healers and coaches and therapists are more about understanding the past and making sense of it. Whereas coaching is more about moving forward. So why do we need to be shy from that? Why do we, need to hold back? So those kind of comments, we got to be careful
Yes.
that we don't take them to heart, because other coaches in this group, if you're watching it, like be proud of what you do. You know, if this is something that found you because you're meant to do it, because you've gone through something and you want to help others, because this is what we do, right? A lot of us have gone through something
Mhm.
and we survived. You know, like I went through hell and back, you know, depression, anxiety, panic
Yeah.
disorder, wanted to die. I was able to transform. I
Yeah.
now have a system. And I was told it's not just for you, it's for you to share with the world. And
Yes.
how can I be shy of that? Like, how can I hold back by not sharing that? And fortunately, I'm not just doing this alone. I have a beautiful team of people that are doing this because I can't coach the whole world, right? So, but you know what? Yeah, I thought it was worth bringing up. What do you think about that,
No, I
Lisa?
think it's great, and I love actually it's a real life example too of what we're talking about, right? You're saying
Hmm.
that triggered you, and
Triggered, yeah.
you had to really sit with it and think about it. And you know what? I totally agree because we have gone through, and I like what you said about therapists and coaches because I think there's a purpose and a place for everyone in
Yeah,
this world. Right?
exactly.
There's room for everyone,
We need all modalities. Yeah.
all modalities, and
Yeah.
whatever you need at that time in your life is what you need. I went through, you know, therapy, and I went through whatever,
Yeah.
you know, I went through that, and until I needed something else. I needed to reach
Hmm.
that unconscious mind, right? Which is what therapy doesn't quite, as you're saying, get at, which is fine.
Yeah.
At least that's been my experience. And so, you know, moving ahead and seeing that comment about that, because I am a coach as well, and I'm an intuitive energy healer. And I do believe I'm divinely guided. I lived 20
Hmm.
years in a career that, while I really valued some aspects of it,
Hmm. Hmm. You're a teacher, you know,
I was
but you were teaching someone else's curriculum. Yeah.
someone else's curriculum. And
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
teaching things that didn't align with me. And I was feeling like, oh my God, I was being suffocated, really, is
Yeah.
the best way to
Yeah.
put it. And so when I came out of that, went through my whole dark, dark period of time, the dark night of the soul,
Mm,
and came out of it with the help of my Huna energy healer,
mm,
NLP coaching,
yeah.
timeline therapy, all the work with the unconscious mind, core transformation, all that beautiful work that I did. Well, why wouldn't I want to share that with somebody else?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't
Yeah.
I want someone to go from, you know, the dark night of the soul into the light very quickly rather than
Yeah.
years and years of therapy? I heard someone the other day
Yeah.
say, I've been seeing my therapist for about a year and a half now, and I still don't feel, and I'm
Mm,
like, oh my gosh, yeah. Well, you know, like
yeah.
that's what coaching can do, as you're saying.
Yeah. It
Coaching
is. It's
is powerful.
powerful.
It's
It's
very
it's
powerful
powerful.
because we're here to empower women,
Yeah.
inspire women to live authentic, to live their
Yeah.
aligned purpose, their aligned truth. And why wouldn't we want to share that with others?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
And
and
it's
I am very confident in what I do and what I bring to this world as well, because simply because I know I'm divinely guided.
yeah.
I
We're
know
not doing it. I say I do nothing, spirit does everything, and miracles happen. Like you're the
100%.
same. You're the same. Yeah.
I just said that. It's not, I was talking to a client and I said, well, they're telling me, and I talk like they're, because
Yeah.
my guides and my angels and my higher self that are giving me, I'm just the conduit of
Yeah.
healing energy.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you what I'm getting. It's
Yeah.
not me doing, I can't take credit for this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And that's why there's no fear in what we do because it's like well, I mean, I should say yeah, for me, I'm just going to say myself like there used to be a time when I lived from ego. Ego was running the show and I knew it was me doing everything when I was a pharmaceutical rep and you know making lots of money and it was all about getting the numbers and
Right,
getting the trip and being
right.
number 1 and it
Yeah,
was all about me and
yes,
I never leaned on spirit, you know, because it was me. It was me. You know,
yeah.
my ego was running the show, right? Edging God out or
Oh,
edging spirit out or edging the universe out, right? That's what ego, right? Our dear Wayne Dyer said that
desire.
ego is edging God out.
Yeah,
But now that I'm living, you know, in this authentic life, my transformation, you know, was almost like the death of my old self in a way, and I'm reborn into this authentic person. it's like there's no fear about anything that I do. And I'm doing some freaking fierce things on the planet. And people are like, how can you not have more ego around that? Like, and I'm like, because I'm not doing it alone. I'm locked arms with all these other people, and spirit is guiding us, and stuff is getting done, like there's 11 global retreat centers being built right now. And we are that close to our first investors. And I've got a real estate agent in Malibu where we're building, and our first flagship, like things are happening. And I know that it's not me. I'm being guided every step of the way. And I'm doing this with other amazing people that see this vision too. So there's no fear. There's no ego. Where there's no ego, there's no fear, right? So
Right.
when ego shows up as a trigger, it's there to show me something. What
Right.
do I need to clear? What do I need to go deeper and do? And then when I do that, I come out, refreshed, and it's like, oh my gosh, like there's this new lease on life. Like, you know, it's not to say my life is perfect. It's just, I'm just saying that, I live as my higher self primarily. When ego shows up as a trigger to protect me, I examine it, I heal it, and I get back into my zone, my higher
Yes.
vibration self. And I
Yes.
know you're the same, Lisa. Do you want to speak to that?
Well, just you said it perfectly. When I'm listening to you talk, and I don't want people to think that, oh, they're just telling me something. We've lived this. I'm still living some
Yeah.
shit. Like I'm
Same,
still
same. We're giving you
dissolving
the wisdom of our stories, right? Yeah.
still
Yeah.
dissolving patterns and programs. And as long as we have breath in our body, we're still going to be dissolving programs and patterns. It's just the way this earth is a schoolroom,
Yeah.
period. And it's how you use the tools, the tips, the trainings, the plethora of people in this world that are here to help you. I
Yeah.
mean, somebody said to me the other day, if you had like all the money in the world, what would you do? What would you buy? And I said, my vision board here has two material items on it. Maybe
Mm,
the rest of it is experiences,
mm,
um, words of like allowing, surrendering, and healing work.
yeah.
Healing work. I would be hiring my coach on a regular basis to
Yeah.
do healing work and touch in when I need to, because
Yeah.
coaches need coaches.
Mm,
Like
oh yeah.
you,
My coach is amazing. Oh my
yeah,
God. I love her so much. Yeah.
you're not meant to do this alone.
Yeah.
And if you want to talk, well, just for briefly, the divine feminine never works alone. The
No.
divine feminine works collaboratively, collectively,
Yeah.
and to raise the consciousness, to raise our vibrations. And that's always what we're striving for,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I think just to sum that up, the only way to get to that place is to feel your pain.
Mm, yeah.
Because if you're not going to feel that pain, if you're not going to feel any trigger that comes up for you, then it's just going to be pushed down, but
Yeah.
it's going to come up again. It's
Yeah.
going to come up again, and you're going to repeat those patterns over and over. And I can attest to that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. And honestly, I don't believe we can do this alone. I
no,
don't. Like, I mean, we can do some of the work in between, but it's a lot easier and less scary when we do it in community or with a coach, a healer. Like, you don't have to be a lone wolf. You can be part of a community, or at least, a few people that you turn to for support. I know you have your people, I have mine. And it's, this is what I just invite people to see. Like, if they are struggling, yes, there's a few tips that we've shared today, and also you can look outside of you for support and just say, hey, can't do this alone.
yeah,
And it's interesting, when you do invest in your healing and do the work, the inner work, that sometimes is like, it can be really yuck, like I just, like my coaching session last week with my amazing coach, there was a lot of tears, there was a lot of release,
yeah,
and being held safe while someone witnesses you in your release
yeah,
and lets you know that you're okay.
yeah,
Like, it's really powerful, it's
oh, yeah,
transformational. So how could we not, talk about this? How can we just, hide our light under a bushel, like that woman that made the post in your group. Like, she was suggesting that we should just hide our light under a bushel. And it's like, no, that just feels wrong. We need to let people know what we do. They don't have to be alone. They don't have to struggle on their own. Yes, there's tips and tools, but learn as much as you can and do the inner work and feel it to heal it. Like there's, yeah, I don't know. I could talk about this all day, but I'll
Oh,
just,
I could too. I could too. I love it. I love it. I
yeah.
hope this episode has given, you who are watching live, we appreciate you. I know there's a Facebook user on, but I don't know who it is. I'm sorry. But we appreciate you so much for jumping in and
Yes.
supporting this. Yeah, supporting this weekly live, because we do this for all of you. We do it for ourselves and we do it for all of you, to be connected, to share, experiences from the heart. So I hope all of you have got something from this. We love you all so, so much. And we are appreciative of you being here. And if you are watching on YouTube, because this is going to go on YouTube
Woohoo.
very soon, and you like this content, just please hit subscribe. We would appreciate that so much. And until next week, we love you and we will talk to you soon.
Yep. Mwah.
Bye for now.
Bye.
3, 2, 1.